Much love and respect for everybody watching right now, everybody tuning in. Of course, this is Darius Coleman reporting live. Thank y'all once again for rocking with me. I'm not going to tear you on too much tonight. I just want to leave something with my family. Every time I get behind this camera and I'm speaking, I always want y'all to know that I'm speaking to your soul, your subconsciousness. I want everybody, I don't care what type of circumstance you're under, to always remember the power that you have within you, the power of the mind. When times get the darkest, I want you to please remember the power is always with you. I'm not going to tear you on. I just wanted to get that out the way first. Now, let's bring this back to church and bring it back to spiritual right quick. When Christ, 2,000 years ago, when he was here, it was two important keys that he left with us. Two important keys that were arched in each one of our souls. The first one was that the kingdom of heaven is within us. The second one is to treat our neighbors just like we wanted to be treated. And of course, I'm paraphrasing. But tonight, I want to focus on the former one, which is the kingdom of heaven is within us. That's what the master teacher Jesus said. I'm going to read something tonight, and I want you to listen up. Because for those who deal with anger, hatred, jealousy, fear, lust, for those people who on a day-to-day basis either have that in their heart or they deal with it, I want you to listen to what I'm going to read to you tonight. And hopefully by the time this video stops, you'll have a better way to deal with life. Because at the end, you are in control no matter what anybody tells you. All right, so let's go. Now, once again, I want to repeat myself. When the master teacher, Jesus the Christ, was here 2,000 years ago, there was two important keys that he left us to remember and to live by. The first one is to remember that the kingdom of heaven is within you. The second one was to love your neighbor just like you would want it to be loved. I'm going to focus on the first one. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Now, for those who have seen some of my videos or even watched my channel, the Darius Coleman Mystery School, you hear me talk about the power of the mind and how within knowing the power of your mind, you connect with God. You know that you are one with God, like Paul said in the Bible. But how many of us out there know how powerful our thoughts are? How much your thoughts, whether you speak them out loud or inside of here, every time you speak a thought or every time you just think of something, you form. And how many of us out there carefully actually pay attention to what we're thinking on a day-to-day basis? I'm going to read something for you right quick. I promise you I'm not going to tarry long. We're only 3 minutes in. I promise you by the time this is done, you're going to be like, holy. So I want you to listen up, and thank you for watching with me. It's been a minute. And thank you for rocking with me. Listen. Thoughts are forces the most vital and powerful in the universe. I'll read that again. Thoughts are forces the most vital and powerful in the universe. Anger, hatred, jealousy, malice, rage, all these are the lower nature of the flesh. Their effect, especially when violent, is to emit a poisonous substance into the system, or rather to set up a corroding influence which transforms the healthy and life-giving secretions of the body into the poisonous and the destructiveness. Let me read that again. Anger, hatred, jealousy, malice, rage, lower natures of our flesh. Their effect, especially when violent, is to emit a poisonous substance into the system, or rather to set up a corroding influence which transforms the healthy and life-giving secretions of the body into the poisonous and the destructive. When one, for example, is dominated, even if but a moment, by a passion of anger or rage, there is a setup in the system, talking about your body, there is a setup in the system what might be justly, termed a bodily thunderstorm, which has the effect of souring or corroding the normal and healthy secretions of the body and making them so that instead of life-giving, they become poisonous. Are y'all listening to what I'm saying? I'm almost done. This, if indulged into any extent, sooner or later induce the form of disease that this particular state of mind and emotion or passion gives birth to, and it in turn becomes chronic. We shall ultimately find, as we are beginning to so rapidly today, that practically all disease has its origin in perverted mental states or emotions. Let me read that again. We shall ultimately find, as we are beginning to so rapidly today, and this was published in 1896, by the way, we shall ultimately find, as we are beginning to so rapidly today, that practically all disease has its origin in perverted mental states or emotions, that anger, hatred, fear, worry, jealousy, lust, as well as all milder forms, and that's milder forms of perverted mental states and emotions, has each its own peculiar poisoning effects and induces each its own peculiar form of disease. For all life is from within out. Now, remember when Christ said where you can find the kingdom of heaven, where he said you can find it? Within. Let me finish up. Then some of the chief ones belonging to the other class, mental states and emotions of the higher nature, are love, sympathy, benevolence, kindliness, and good cheer. These are natural and the normal, and their effect, when habitually entertained, is to stimulate a vital, healthy, bounding, purifying, and life-giving action, the exact opposite of the others. And these very forces set into a bounding activity will in time counteract and heal the disease, giving effects of their opposites. Their effects upon the countenance and feathers in educing the highest beauty that can dwell. They are also marked and all-powerful. So much then in regard to the effects of one's thought forces upon the self. A word more in regard to their effects upon others. Now, I hope I broke that down good enough so you could understand what I was saying and what was being said. At the end of the day, when you hear people say, as a man thinketh, I think, therefore I am. When the master teacher, and even Paul himself, what they were trying to tell us, people, is the power that connects us to God is our mind. If that mind becomes tainted with anger, hatred, jealousy, you could be hating on or having jealousy for somebody else. You may put all your energy in that, thinking you're doing something. But in actuality, all that anger and jealousy and unnecessary energy, negative energy you're putting out there is really just coming back like ricochet bullets right back into your body, which is poisoning your body and causing disease. So I just want us to be mindful on our day-to-day. Be careful how we lay down. Be careful with thoughts you lay down with. Be careful with thoughts you wake up with. But most importantly, be careful of the thoughts you lay down with, because they can affect the dream and the astral world. And even more, when you're waking up, you're still carrying that. So this has been another Darius Corbin service announcement spiritually. It's always a pleasure. Tune in and always know that the power has always been within you. Never give up. Always strive. Go higher than you ever thought you could go. You can do it. You got this. Peace.